Now, you see, the system that is owned and controlled by the dominant white society. And again, we live in a system of racism, white supremacy. Right now, the system is in chaos. It's in disarray, but it's organized chaos. They're purging themselves right now. Okay. You have the conservative, right? You have the conservative crowd. You have the NRA. You have the liberal crowd. They're all infighting right now because of what happened last week in Parkland, Florida, with the mass shooting by Nicholas Cruz. There has been a complete joint effort of negligence. There has been negligence on all sides. What I mean by all sides is gross and joint negligence from law enforcement, gross and joint negligence from law enforcement staff, such as the FBI, right? Gross and joint negligence from the caretakers of Nicholas Cruz, who just did an interview, which I uploaded a couple days ago, saying they allowed Nicholas Cruz to to purchase and own firearms. Nicholas Cruz had a history of mental health issues. Nicholas Cruz had a very, very tumultuous upbringing. Right? His biological mother passed away. Father passed away, or at least not in his life. So he was mentally unstable. But see, I'm not going to fall for that trick bag, because the dominant white society, that kind of behavior is normal and is accepted, right? It's normal and it's accepted. And the mainstream media is trying to rationalize and contextualize this type of abhorrent behavior. Basically trying to make this Nicholas Cruz a victim and not a modern day domestic terrorist who is a mass shooter, who is also a white identity extremist. That's who Nicholas Cruz is. A mass shooter who is a white identity extremist. That's who he is. Point blank and simple. Right? But going back to this story that just came out today, there was an assigned police officer at the school in Parkland, Florida. Stoneman Douglas. Okay. This assigned police officer, whose name is Scott Peterson, was assigned to the school and was on campus the entire event. He was armed. He was in uniform. He knew about the shooting because he saw the perpetrator, Nicholas Cruz, did nothing to intervene, didn't care to brandish his weapon, didn't do anything. Okay? This guy again was complicit in joint negligence behavior. And he resigned. As of today, he resigned. All right. Here's the article I'm referring to right here, guys. This guy resigned. And, you know, like I said, there's warning signs, social media posts that Nicholas Cruz did talking about he's going to be a professional school shooter. He left on a random YouTube page. He had Instagram posts showing firearms and weapons. Okay. These signs were all ignored. But the minute a person that's classified as non-white does the same exact thing, those warning signs would be resolved in a matter of seconds. You have a person that's classified as non-white, right? That is considered or so-called considered a Muslim. You best believe the FBI, the CIA, the NSA, all the alphabet boys, local, state, and federal law enforcement would all work in conjunction to prevent any kind of signs of mass terrorist attacks, mass shootings. They would be put to rest in a heartbeat. But because Nicholas Cruz is classified as non-black, all of those signs were ignored. All of those signs were ignored. And so now the infighting begins because the code of conduct by the system of racism, white supremacy was tampered with this mass shooting. The NRA is working in conjunction with Clockwork Orange, aka Donald Trump, to ensure that the freedom of owning firearms isn't taken away. Of course, they're not going to do anything with that. That's not going away. And the mind tricks they're trying to play is there wasn't enough rigorous background checks when he purchased the guns. They're trying to raise the age of, a legal age of purchasing firearms and all this other kind of stuff. Mental health evaluations and things like that. But they're totally ignoring the fact that all of these signs, again, were ignored on every facet of law enforcement, even at home during his regarding his legal guardians that took him in. Everybody ignored all the signs because, again, he's classified as non-black. It's just that simple. It's just that simple. So the system of racism, white supremacy is reformating, realigning itself, and trying to make sure that their code of conduct, right, is reevaluated so they can see this through and do another false narrative and say, yeah, we did something regarding, gun laws and things of that nature, when in fact they're not going to do anything about that at all whatsoever. Right? Nothing's going to change regarding that. But again, when you show a reflection of the behavior and the results of what happened last week with Nicholas Cruz during the mass shooting in Parkland, Florida, they don't want to see a reflection of themselves, because that's an ugly, ugly reality check. Super ugly. Right? So my position is very simple. It's very simple. And of course, it's going to take like-minded individuals to do this. But again, we live in a system of racism, white supremacy, and many of us don't even know or acknowledge that. But my position has always been since day one is to separate from those very same people that oppress us and have our own resources from top to bottom in every category, in all 9 areas of activity: economics, education, entertainment, labor law, politics, religion, sex, and war. It's just that simple. That's the only way for us to not be, involved with this result, because again, the biggest downfall for black society was the end of segregation, aka integration. That's where we're at right now. That's where we're at right now. So now you're witnessing some infighting with the dominant white society in terms of gun laws and gun control. But they'll figure it out. Nothing will change at all. Would I like things to change? Of course. But the reality is nothing will change. Nothing will change. We'll still be the number one country in the world with the highest death rates for people who own firearms. The highest percentage of mass shootings is going to stay number one. It's always going to be that way. All right? Until we, people classified as black or African American, have our own resources from top to bottom. It's just that simple. All right? So, anyway, those are my thoughts on this story that came out regarding this this Broward sheriff deputy who did absolutely nothing, was complicit in joint negligence, did nothing when Nicholas Cruz was on campus. He was this so-called police officer, Scott Peterson, was armed, did absolutely nothing to intervene, and he resigned today. But I expect more stuff that come out. You know, I expect more stuff from the FBI and all of these, all the law enforcement and everybody that was involved who know things. I expect more things to come out. So we'll see what happens, family. All right. So those are my thoughts on that. All right, family. Until next time, leave your comments down below about this detective, Scott Peterson. Is that his name, Scott Peterson? Yeah, Scott Peterson. Leave your comments down below about this Broward sheriff deputy who did absolutely nothing during the time of the mass shooting. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section, family. Until next time, Chauncey, a.k.a. the Black Separatist, signing out. Peace.